What's going on, guys? So, everybody, as you guys know, I'm a 49ers fan. If you didn't know that, you're blind. But I'm here to just go in depth into the 49ers draft class. I already talked about it a little bit and gave it a grade, but I want to go further in depth into our 5 selections and go in depth to the picks we traded away, of course. So let's go and get started in the first round. Now, I want to start. We traded down from 13. Well, actually, we traded DeForest Buckner for the 13th overall pick. When that happened, it broke my heart. DeForest Buckner, he's been through this team, even in the short, I believe, 4 years he played. He was through so much with this team, and he helped us become a superstar, studded defense. He took so much of the, he would take so many double teams. He got so much attention from the opposing offensive lines. And with DeForest Buckner being on, that was going to be a huge void in our defense. A lot of people would say it won't be that big of a deal. They still have Arik Armstead, Nick Bosa, Dee Ford. They have Solomon Thomas. They have T.J. Jones. But people overlook how important DeForest Buckner was to that defense. He might have only had, I believe, 7 or 8 sacks on the season, but the reason he only had that many, and the reason Arik Armstead had so many, and the reason Nick Bosa was able to get so many pressures, he was getting most of the attention. Him and Nick Bosa are getting tons of attention, which is why Arik Armstead was able to break out the way he did. I really wish that we would have just paid DeForest Buckner and traded away Armstead instead, but the extra $4 million, that is big. I understand why we had to do it. We couldn't afford him, but still breaks my heart. But we traded for the 13th pick from the Indianapolis Colts. But then after that, when the draft started, we traded down one spot, like we did with the Bears, all the way back in for the Solomon Thomas. So I don't care. The Mitchell Trubisky class with Holmes, Watson, that class. The same thing we did with the Bears. We traded down one spot to 14. We got 4th round pick, I believe, swap 7s, something like that. Or no, they gave us a 4th and we just gave them a 7th. That's what happened. Gotta remember things. But we traded down one spot to 14, and the guy we wanted was still there. Javon Kinlaw is going to be the guy who replaces DeForest Buckner in his defense. And a lot of people are saying, why would you take Javon Kinlaw when there's Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb on the board? Well, take it this way. The 49ers, everybody knows that we are a run-based offense. We're zone run scheme. Kyle Shanahan, the running wizard, he is going to run the ball most of the time, which is why people shit on Jimmy Garoppolo, even though I think Garoppolo's a good quarterback. You saw in the Saints game. He can be, when he has to play, when he has to do it, he can do it. But with us being a run-based offense, we don't really need superstar X receivers. Like a guy like Jerry Jeudy, even Henry Ruggs went before we picked, but still, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, guys like that, we don't need them in this offense. Obviously, Henry Ruggs would have been very nice to have. I think he actually fits this offense really well, but he was on the board. So let's just talk about Jeudy and Lamb. They're both obviously great receivers. But I'll go into more further in depth. We got Brandon Ayuk, who fits our scheme very well. But that's enough about that. I want to talk about Javon Kinlaw now. Javon Kinlaw, he's from South Carolina. He played in the SEC as top-tier competition. He was doubled and tripled so often. People look at his stats and be like, oh, that was not amazing. Why did they pick him so high? Because there were people who had Javon Kinlaw over Derek Brown, by the way. I was one of those people. But the reason he didn't have so much stats because he was being doubled and tripled. He has so much talent, and teams would force into that. And that was SEC teams too. Those are like the top quality players in the NCAA. He was getting all that attention, and that's why he's an amazing prospect and a top 15 pick. And Kinlaw, he is extremely, in my opinion, he's extremely similar to DeForest Buckner. Excuse me. He has great size. He's 6'5". Actually, Buckner, I believe, is 6'7". Kinlaw is 200 short, 6'5", but he's 324 pounds, which gives him great run stop upside. He's not there in the run stopping game yet, but he's not really there to be a run stopper. He's there to be a guy who's going to rush the passer, of course. And he is an amazing pass rusher. He has great finesse, skill. He is extremely athletic for his size. He's 324 pounds. He is so athletic for being 324 pounds. He's going to be an elite interior pass rusher. He has great acceleration, great agility, great speed. And even then, he has amazing strength as well to just get off blocks. And he's going to be a good run defender as well, in my opinion. And with being 6'5", that's still not short. Not 6'7" like Buck, but he's still pretty tall for a defensive lineman, tier defensive lineman. Most of those guys, unless you're like Calais Campbell's, the first one comes on my head, obviously Buckner. Those guys are like 6'7", I believe. That's like the tallest you can get, 6'5". That's really good. And I think he's going to be an elite pass rusher. He's going to be a great run stopper. He's going to be an elite player in this league. He has the potential to become a top 10 interior. I think it's potential to be a top 5 interior defensive lineman. I think he will be better than Derrick Brown. That's my quote-unquote hot take. It's not really a hot take. I think it's probably a lot of people think that. But now let's go to our next first round pick. I went to it a little bit, but I'm going to go further in depth with Brandon Aiyuk from Arizona State. As I mentioned, when I was talking about Eno Benjamin, I watched a lot of tape on this guy. Not really a lot. I think I watched 6 games. I only watched half the season because I couldn't find the rest of the games. And I could have found them, but kind of gave up. But we traded up from 31 to 25. We gave up, I believe, a 5th round pick to do it. No, I think we gave it the pick we traded the Bucks for. I believe we gave it that 4th round pick to give it to go up with Minnesota for Brandon Aiyuk. Now, a lot of people are thinking, are there better receivers on board like Denzel Mims? And obviously, people are going to point to this, be like, why didn't you just take Judy and then get like Ross Blacklock or something, or take a corner? Well, Brandon Aiyuk, we have Deebo Samuel, of course, on our offense, and Brandon Aiyuk, he's pretty much the exact same player. You might be thinking, why would you have 2 of the exact same player? Because you can't focus on, because a lot of teams are going to focus on Deebo Samuel now. They know his skill set, they have the tape for his rookie season, they know he runs, he can run, he can catch, he can do it, and he will get reverses. You have Brandon Aiyuk, you're able to have similar player in that regard, and will just increase the confusion. And you can do a lot more trick plays, you can do a lot more motions and all that stuff with the offense. And Aiyuk, he's not a bad receiver either. He's one of the top receivers in his class. He's a top 5 receiver. He is a good route runner. He has great burst. He was a returner at Arizona State, which is great to show his rack skills. He's an amazing rack receiver, which is why we picked him. And keep this in mind, he was Kyle Shanahan's #1 receiver over like Judy, Lamb, Bruggs, even Justin Jefferson, Jalen Reagor, Denzel Mims, anybody else I want to mention. He was the #1 receiver on Kyle Shanahan's board. And it's because he is an amazing player after the catch, which is what we really look for in our offense. A lot of play action, bootlegs, a lot of just play action, and a lot of short crossers, a lot of short routes, slants, crossers. Remember, a lot of routes like that. And he fits perfectly in our style of offense. And he is going to be an amazing player for us. And even he could be a good outside receiver as well. He will be able to make plays deep. He can make some spectacular catches. And it's just going to be really fun to have this guy in the 49ers offense. Brandon Aiyuk fits perfectly into the system. His comparison probably literally is Deebo Samuel. And if you have 2 Deebo Samuels on your team, who doesn't want 2 Deebo Samuels on their team? Come on. And Aiyuk, he's just going to be a superstar, in my opinion, for our team. And now, don't forget, we also have Kendrick Bourne, who's going to be great. And then we also have Trent Taylor coming off IR. And Jalen Hurd as well. And Jalen Hurt's he's 6'5", he's going to be that red zone threat. He's a converted running back, I believe. He's going to be really fun. And he's going to be more of a red zone threat. Kendrick Bourne, he's mainly a 3rd down red zone type player as well. He is just one of those guys. He's terrible for some reason on like 1st and 2nd down. He will drop so many passes. And then on 3rd down, he'll make like a one-handed catch with like 5 defenders hitting him. He'll make that catch, but he'll drop a wide open pass on like 2nd and 6 at the 28-yard line. Like, he's just that type of player. And I think he was one of our leading receivers in like touchdowns. And then Trent Taylor's just going to be the slot. He's going to be a sure-handed slot guy. He's going to be probably the main 3rd down target. But Aiyuk, he's going to be like Deebo. He's going to play on the outside. He might not even play his rookie year, really, but I think he's going to develop to a star. We'll see what happens. I think we have our receiving core, it's not like stacked, but we have a lot of just like similar quality players. But with that being said, that's all on Brandon Ayuk. And now we'll move on to quote unquote our second round pick. Our second round pick was traded away for Dee Ford. And I'll talk a little about Dee Ford. And, well, if you really think about it, he might be our worst defensive lineman. That's right, Dee Ford might be our worst defensive lineman. He's also the highest paid, I believe. Actually, I think Arps is probably higher paid now. But Dee Ford is the worst defensive lineman of the 49ers. Obviously, Kinlaw might be worse, but I think he's going to end up being better extremely early on in his career. But Dee Ford, he's an amazing pass rusher. Obviously, you traded him for the Chiefs. They got Frank Clark for some reason to replace him. It makes no sense to me. I think Dee Ford is much better than Frank Clark. But the problem with Dee Ford, he did have a lot of injury issues last year. And I've heard, as I learned, he has a degenerative knee issue, I believe. Similar to like Todd Gurley has, I believe. I don't know if it's to the same extent, but I know it kept him out of a lot of games last year for us. But I also traded a second round pick for him. He is really important to our defensive line. You can see the difference when we have Dee Ford playing to when we don't have him playing. You can see the difference in who's getting more attention. And like if you have Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, Arik Armstead, and Dee Ford on the field all at the same time, that is just insane. And some people might point to that and say, oh, then why do you need Kinlaw? I already explained why we need Kinlaw. He's going to be that big force Buckner who takes the most attention. Now, Nick Bosa is probably going to take the most attention next year, but you also can't, if you, you can't double our entire defensive line. We are going to get there one way or another. We have elite players literally on the entire line. Or maybe not elite. We have number one quality players on the entire line. And it's just going to be, it's insane how much time we have at Dee Ford. He's huge impact there. Well, we had him out. We had guys like Damontre Moore coming in for him. And you could tell the difference. You see Nick Bosa and Defoe getting all the more attention. And if you have Dee Ford there, it just increases the level of alertness. And you have to pay attention just to one extra guy. You're not going to focus on Damontre Moore the same way you're focused on Dee Ford. And I think it's just going to be, it's just an extremely good, I think it's a good trade to get rid of a second round pick for Dee Ford. Now, our third and fourth round picks were traded away for Emmanuel Sanders. This is a little different story because Sanders is not on the team anymore, obviously. He's on the Saints now. But I think, I think that Emmanuel Sanders was extremely important to his team if he's not here anymore. He was extremely helpful, obviously, getting us to the Super Bowl. And he did get wide open on the deep pass from Garoppolo that was missed. We all know that story. But I think Sanders, he's a bigger help than most people would think. And you might think getting rid of third and fourth for him is an L because we don't have him anymore. But before he came in, our pass offense was so much worse than it was. Why? Because our receivers were, they're bad. I'm just going to say they were bad. I believe it was coming off the game where Kendrick Bourne dropped so many passes against Seattle. I'm going to talk about the Seattle game. There were so many drops that game. Kendrick Bourne couldn't catch a thing. He couldn't catch the Colt that day. And he said it himself, so I don't feel bad for saying it. And even Debo, he wasn't playing well that game. Just the entire receiving corps was playing terrible that game. We still almost beat Seattle that game. I think it was 27-24. Only reason we lost was a rookie kicker. And that's how good that team was last year. Like, we could have easily gone 16-0. We had a fluke loss to the Falcons. We barely lost to the Ravens. Although we kind of got fluky there with a hit from Marcel Harris. But still, we only lost by 3. Lost on Justin Tucker field goal. And then we lost to Seattle field goal on a game we should have won on a field goal ourselves. If we had Robbie Gould, I'm sure he wouldn't nail that kick. Although I do still love Chase McLaughlin. I think that was literally the only kick he missed. Of course, it's going to be me and Bryce's career because it was really badly missed. But Sanders, he was hugely instrumental. Let's go back to Sanders. He was instrumental to developing our receivers. He was the veteran. He was the guy who was teaching everyone in our locker room. That's why we cared about him so much. Only having him half the season. Debo and KB got so much development from working with Emmanuel Sanders. They're just refining their routes, learning how to use their hands better. You can't really teach how to catch better. That is a thing. Like me, I can't catch. Even if Emmanuel Sanders taught me how to catch, I probably still wouldn't be able to. But he really helped just refine their skills and make them better football players. I think that's going to be, and that's big for us. It's big for our future. And although we don't have him anymore, and our veteran is now Travis fucking Benjamin, I think it's still amazing that Sanders is able to help us develop. And I think that's a good use of our third or fourth round picks. Although we probably could have used better, considering he's not on the 49ers anymore. But he was still a huge help. And like, if you had to like give grades to like all these picks, I already gave grades out technically, but I like A+ for Kinlaw, A for Aiyuk, my opinion, A for D Ford, and then like I'd say B+ for Emmanuel Sanders trade. Now that takes us to the 5th round, and we ended up trading up, I believe, to get an offensive lineman. Actually, before we talk about that, we did have a 5th round pick from a different team called our own team. We had our own 5th round pick, and we gave it up along with a future 3rd for Trent Williams. And here we go, another tangent. So leading into the day 3 of the draft. Oh, actually, on day 2 of the draft, it was reported that the 49ers were interested to trade for Trent Williams. I thought that was fake, honestly, because, well, we had Joe Staley, I had Mike McGlinchey. Where the hell are we going to play Trent Williams? Well, day 3 happened, and Joe Staley, well, not quite. First, we traded for Trent Williams. And as soon as that trade went through, Joe Staley got working on his retirement letter because Joe Staley was ready to retire from football, or at least playing football. And that was the worst thing that's ever happened to me, which sounds extremely spoiled, but, well, yeah, you can tell I'm spoiled. But Joe Staley retiring was just heartbreaking, even more heartbreaking than Devo trade. Probably him and Frank Gore leaving is probably around the same spot on my list. And Patrick Willis retiring really early is obviously up there too. Even Chris Borland retiring was, honestly, that just made me more mad than anything, but I was still really sad to see such a young talent go. I was cutting Navarro Bowman, but I'm not gonna get it. I don't need to get into that. We traded for Trent Williams though, because Joe Staley, since he's such a legend, since he's just a great guy, he went to the former 49ers and he was thinking of retiring, and he allowed us to have the time to trade for Trent Williams before he retired. So we traded a 5th round pick and a future 3 for Trent Williams. And that's, if you saying, basically what we did was we traded a 5th round pick for Trent Williams, and if he ends up leaving in free agency next year, then we get a 3rd round pick back. So like, basically we would be trading a 5th round pick for Trent Williams, or if we resign him, we're trading a 5th and a future 3, which we never really used our 3rd round picks that well anyways. We're basically just using a future 3 to get a superstar tackle. And that's just like an A+ pick, or like A+ grade. That's just amazing value. You get an elite tackle. Like, you're not going to get Trent Williams this late in the draft usually, unless you develop like Prince Tekawanago or something. Like the Eagles could do that, but even then, Trent Williams is probably a top 3 tackle, or top 3 left tackle. So you can't really say that as anything other than an A+ if you're trading a fucking 5th round pick for him. But now let's talk about the actual pick. We ended up trading up. I don't even remember what we traded. Actually, yes, I do. We traded Matt Breida away, which also is very sad. Not quite as sad, obviously, because we still have Raheem Mostert. We have Jake McKinnon come back from injury. We also have Tico. We have Jeff Wilson. He's my favorite player on the team. Him and Mostert are 1A, 1B. My favorite players running backs. But we traded away Matt Breida, sadly, and I wish we could have gotten a better pick or better just in return. But I hope he has a good opportunity in Miami. He's going to be a good compliment to Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard's in Miami now. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure about that. But he'll be a great compliment there. He's going to be able to play so like Kenyon Drake was there, but be a lot better, in my opinion. Well, actually, we'll see about that, because I think a lot of Breida's success did come from the offensive line. But you see highlights like the play against the Bengals, that was all him, really. Obviously, there's good block on that play too, but that whole stuff, he cut back, he had to make a whole bunch of guys. It was insane. If you haven't seen that, look at Matt Breida's highlight against the Bengals. That was an amazing play. But we traded Breida away for a 5th round pick, which we used to select Colton McKivitz, tackle from West Virginia. When we picked him, I did not know much about him. But then I learned more about him. He he's a very athletic tackle, which is obviously what the 49ers are going to look for. They're going to look for those athletes at the offensive line spots because we run that's the run scheme where we have guys that to run his pace, make move blocks, which is why like we have Mike Person who's and Joe Staley, Mike McGlinchey, Weston Richburg is it's scheme fit. Liga Tomlinson's more of a power guy, but he is a little speedy himself. He's not completely dead at the athleticism game, but McKivitz, he's just going to be a guy. We're going to develop him behind Trent Williams. We will develop him behind Joseph Lahana, but we're going to develop McKivitz behind Trent Williams, and eventually, obviously, someone's got to replace Trent Williams because I believe he is 32 still. And obviously, we still have Justin School. Daniel Brunskill, I believe, is playing guard next year. So we still have guys at tackle. This guy might be the new swing tackle. We'll see how he does with Justin School. See who's better. But I think Eddie McKivitz, this is a good value pick. I still say it's a B because I think we could have gone Bryce Hall, which I think would have been much better use of this pick. Because 49ers, we have Richard Sherman as our number one corner. We saw in the Super Bowl he is slowing down, and he's also he's old. Sherman's old. And our number 2 corner is Emmanuel Mosley, an undrafted free agent from I think 2 years ago actually. Or him and Akello Witherspoon were flipping all year, and I think Mosley's better than Akello. But Mosley's also not going to be an elite number 2 corner. So yeah, not everybody's going to have an elite number 2 corner, but I like to see better as our number 2 corner. So that's what we get Bryce Hall with this pick, just why it's lower on my board. But I also did want a developmental tackle. I was hoping for more of an Alex Taylor, I think. I know there's another guy, I can't remember his name, I can never remember it. But I am fine with the pick. We do need a developmental tackle. I wish we could have gone Bryce Hall, obviously, here. But you can only control what you control, and I do not control the 49ers front office or their decisions. So we do get Colin McKivitz. He's a good player, though. Or he will, I think he'll end up being a good player. He'll be able to develop here. He's going to be a solid tackle. And now, we'll move on to our 6th round pick, which we traded Marquise Goodwin for. Marquise Goodwin, he was on his team for a long time. He was one of the first players. I think he got the first touchdown from Garoppolo. I think he did. I'm not quite sure on that. Actually, it might have been Lewis Murphy. I can't remember. But he was the guy. He was one of the first guys who developed actual chemistry with Garoppolo. If you remember the final 5 games of the 2017 season, that was when Garoppolo went 5-0. That's when we gave him the big contract, of course, after we traded for him at midseason. Goodwin was a guy. He got a lot of targets. He was one of the guys we looked at. And, well, he fell off very hard. He couldn't catch anymore. He kept getting hurt. He also had a lot of personal tragedies, of course, which he had a big influence on the team, in my opinion. I think he's a good personality in the locker room. He's a good guy. And I'm going to miss him. And I'm not really on the field, just as a personality, just a person. I'm going to miss Marquise Goodwin, the person. And we traded him for a blocking tight end, technically, here. We traded for a 6th round pick. We got Charlie Warner from Georgia. He is literally no upside as a receiver, but we had Garrett Selleck retire on us, Selleck time, of course, and Levine Toilolo, he left in free agency. Those were our 2 main blocking tight ends, and they were both gone. We got Ross Dwelly also on the depth chart, and I think I Daniel Helm or something. I don't know anything about him. He was inactive all year, but they had Ross Dwelly, but he was the guy who replaced Kittle. And he can't really block. He's just basically a receiver for us. So again, Charlie Warner replaces guys like Garrett Selleck and Levine Toilolo as that blocking tight end, that's alongside George Kittle, which would be big for our run game because we still need those blockers at the tight end spot because we just have as many blockers on the field as we can have. And getting Warner is a big W for that, pretty much. He's just not going to be a good receiver, which means this is a pretty low upside pick. It was technically it was a need. I actually usually did have us taking this guy, but more in the 7th round than the 6th. But either way, it's still a decent pick for us. I move it down to around a C+ now because there's just not much upside here, if any. But he is just going to be an elite blocker for us, and that's all that really matters with this pick. He's just a blocker, and we did need it, so I'll take it. Obviously, this is really a grading video. But we have one more pick, everybody. Our final pick in the draft was Jawan Jennings, a wide receiver from Tennessee. And he's a former high school quarterback. We have switched to receiver. at Tennessee or wherever he went. I don't know if he transferred or anything. I don't really know anything about him besides his play style, which is yet again a very similar play style to, say, Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk even, if I want to say that. He is another guy who's just great after the catch. He's 6'3" though, so that's a big difference. He's very tall. He's able to make those big catches. He's good body control. He's going to pin high point balls in the air and be able to come down with them. And I think he's just going to be a really good receiver for us. Or he's not really, I don't even know. He's going to be like the 7th receiver maybe. We got Kendrick Bourne, Deebo, Ayuk. We got Trent Taylor, Jalen Hurd coming back. So maybe number 6 then. Or he'll just be battling for that spot. I think Jennings is going to make the team. He's going to end up being an elite player, or not elite, but he's just going to be great depth for us. And say Ayuk or Samuel get hurt, he can easily replace those guys. He's really good. Jauan Jennings. He's on burner obviously. We don't really have any burners now that Marquise Goodwin's gone, which kind of stinks. But Deebo is fast enough, I think, and so is Ayuk. I think they're fast enough. And we can also just throw it to like McKinnon out of the backfield if we want like super speedy players catching the ball. But so Jauan Jennings, he's not necessarily that fast, but he's great after the catch. I believe he was a returner at some point. I'm not necessarily sure of that, but for being a converted quarterback, he's a very nice receiver. Does not the best hands, of course, with him being a former quarterback, but he did play for a while there at Tennessee. 7th round pick. It's not necessarily. I think that's pretty good upside for a 7th round pick, and I just think he's gonna be a great player for us. I give that one a B plus. I don't know why I'm giving grades out, but I gave out grades, so that's great. We got him in the 7th round. He's just going to be a guy that we have as depth at the receiver position, and he fits the scheme perfectly. So why not take a chance on him? And if you heard his draft, like when Lynch calling him, when Shanny and Jed York calling him, if you heard him have his little speech about being a dog, or not really speech, but just continuously saying that, being thankful for this opportunity, I'm very much looking forward to it. He has a great personality. I'm very excited to have him on the team. Can't wait. But that was an in-depth look at the 49ers draft class, and I'll probably do some more stuff about the 49ers roster, and when the schedules get fully released, I'll do more in-depth looks at the Niners, and eventually I'm probably going to do an in-depth look at every team. Not every team's draft, but like just to look at every team, give a quick little outlook at their schedule, give a little quick record prediction. But I think I'm going to end up doing that. We will see if I end up following through on that. I might not. I might do maybe just like the NFC or something. I might just do NFC West even. I'm going to guarantee, though, that I do an in-depth look at the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to guarantee I do the NFC West at least. Because, come on, I have to do my own division. But that is it for the in-depth look at the 49ers draft class. So we do with all of our picks, even if they don't exist anymore. I know what we did with them. Actually, I think I know when at their 2nd round pick, Chiefs got Willie Gay, I believe. So I think I know that. Our 3rd picks, they went to the Broncos. Let's see if I can find out who they picked real quick. Broncos. What did they get? They got McTelvin Agim with our 3rd round pick. They traded away our 4th. I'm not gonna go hunt that down. And then we trade a pick to Tampa Bay. Who did they go for 7? They picked Raymond Calais, a running back. So let's see. We got Willie Gay is probably the best value anyway. Got off the pick that we had. All right, I'm done with that. Those are the picks off the top of my head that we got rid of. I know a couple more, like the 4th rounder we got. I know we traded that away, and then another pick we got rid of. But it's fine. I give up. Actually, we give to Minnesota, right? See. Alright, sorry. Let's go check this one out. I think this is it. I don't know. No, I'm done. Alright, that's our 5th round pick. There it is, KJ Osborne. So we gave it our 5th rounder to Minnesota. Alright, I'm done now. So that's it. Those were some of the picks that got traded away, that we traded away, that got picked. But that's it for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, do all that. And well, I'll see you guys next time. With whatever video I come up with next, which is probably in-depth look at the 49ers total roster. I'll give a quick outlook at like where I think they're ranked at their position, stuff like that. That's it. Have a good day. Subscribe, leave a like. Peace out. See ya.